Welcome back. MTG Joe here, doing something a little bit different from the metagame breakdown. I want to play some Magic, and I've been enjoying this Duskmourn Omniscience Emblem draft. So it is quick draft, but you get an Omniscience emblem, so your spells are free to cast. You start with 3 cards in hand, and you get to cast stuff at instant or like without paying its cost. You get 5 mana per turn, 1 of each color, so you can activate stuff. All the rooms that like draw you cards, card draw is kind of king in this format. You turn 1 win in this format. So it's pretty fun. I've done 5 wins, 7 wins, 2 wins. But we're gonna jump in and go over the draft and then play some games and how it goes. I've been enjoying this. It's been fun. So cards that draw cards, any of the rooms very strong. So things like grab the prize, card advantage engine, or kind of pseudo card draw. This could technically lead to turn 1 wins, but you need a lot. It's easier with the mill frog or the mill crab. But I think in the dark, we just want to prioritize early taking card draw. We're going to do grab the prize here. So this one here, not that good because it's pretty low floor. Underwater tunnel can at least set you up draws. Not too bad there. Anything that, so usually with these rooms, you'll pay the more expensive half and then unlock the cheaper half. The Slavering Branch Snapper is just a really reasonable threat, just being a big body, so I think we're going to go with that. Painter's Studio provides card advantage and then gives power. The thing here is with the exile cards, Omniscience cast from hand, so it's not as good. This is probably the best card in the format. This and the Black Room that draws 2, the Derelict Attic. Both of these are very strong. I'm going to prioritize taking the Meat Locker here because it also has the tap down. So this is pretty good at shuffling cards back into your library so you don't mill out. Cards that care about like basic lands aren't as good. Get Out's nice because it's a counter spell. You can shut off their rooms, and then you could also bounce your rooms back to hand and then get that value in terms of recasting Meat Locker, stuff like that. We're seeing a lot of these aquariums. It's not the blue one I want. The Gazebo, mills return up to 2 target permanents. Glasswork's not bad. It could be removal if needed, and it's just in board stalls, can provide some damage. Probably better than the Manifest Dread. This would be reasonable, but you can't really bring it back because it needs double black and you get Wooburg. So let's just go. Murder, good removal. Probably the best of this compared to the various other cards there. Probably Murder again. This doesn't really do much because they always have 5 mana available. The deal 6 is actually kind of reasonable because if you have Delirium, it will allow you to play some cards, so it's some card advantage as well. This can technically let you mind rot your opponent in the opening hand. I had 2 in my last one. It's a pretty bad draw outside of your opener, and it wasn't like be all end all. So I think it's probably just the card draw engine. This is pretty good at coming back from the graveyard. We have Grab the Prize and Meat Locker. I think we're going to go with one of these just because it's uncommon, more likely to find some of those other threats. Not too much to sacrifice, but it's the biggest body in the pack. Derelict Attic, love to see that wheel. We have one of these yet? No, so these, I like having at least one in there. The lions don't do anything, so board cards. I didn't see a huge amount of cards. Mind Skinner is interesting. It's a threat, but most of the time you could just kill them with damage in this format compared to like other formats. I'm gonna get the Glimmerbust, just it's the best kind of card draw out of the various options here. So again, just taking card draw over anything. You want one of these in your opening hand as often as possible. The Glimmerburst, another good card. So this pack here, reasonable card. Turn up to 1 target, non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Manifest Dread. So this is actually interesting. First time I've come across this one. This isn't bad, kind of early filters out, eats away at your opponent's hand. This resetting the rooms seems good, and also in a pinch, can be reasonable. I think we go with this here. So enters a battlefield, target player sacks a creature. Other than that, when it's dealt damage, so kind of reasonable removal. We have the deal 6 as well here, which isn't too bad. Probably just doing the deal 6 here. We don't really have many of the sacrifice themes. It does let our smaller creatures trade up, but I think having dedicated removal is probably better. So the unearth effect could be reasonable. The problem is we can't flash it back. So it's only if something dies, which isn't as good. Just 5/4 vanilla. I think we're going to go Fanatic here. So Enter the Enigma is okay, but it requires you to have a creature play to get that card draw. We are at only 5 creatures, so Addict here. This is also really good, just having cheap counters or free counters, but the Addict is basically always where we want to pick. We will go with the Snatcher. Harder to kill creature. Prize here. This is also just burn damage, which is nice. Manifest Dread, Double Strike. So what with these ones here, you want to cast the more expensive half, the Tunnel of Hate, and then you manifest half. I don't want that. Really just like to trade up. Anthropod's not bad. Probably this over this. Just lands. Sideboard. Okay, Hall Creeper's reasonable. Could draw at least 1 card, which isn't too bad. Do you think I just want these? I also like Fear. Fear being just pseudo unblockable. You oftentimes will trade with 2 creatures because of the Death Touch. The unblockable's not bad. We can... this is interesting. Because even Seized from Slumber is good. The chance one of these wheels. Let's go with the Creeper here. Addict. We don't care about Crypt. This is nice as another way to bounce your rooms. But again, just prioritizing card draw here. Card draw again. You only need a couple threats in the game. This is pretty good, but we're going to go... Again, just Meat Locker. Now we just want some bigger creatures. Razorkin. Reach is reasonable. 5/3 is reasonable. 5s here. This can rebuy a creature that we mill over. Otherwise, it's not doing too much. Probably just 5. 5/4 flyers. Just this isn't too bad because then we could. It's like extra reach damage with all the rooms we have, but again, just Meat Lockers for days. Dark. Murder. It's not bad in the opener. The other is Anthropod that we can play. We go that. So this enters, you may sacrifice another enchantment or creature if you do draw 2 cards, and when you sacrifice it. So it's pretty good, but we don't have a lot of fodder, I would say. It's the Anthropedes. There's some of these rooms, like the Meat Locker once it gets used, but this one wants to stick around. This one wants to stick around, so not the same. This one here is just basically card draw with card selection, so we'll do that. Helps Delirium. We got 40. So let's jump in the games. We ended up with 7 of the rooms that I like. So happy with that kind of spread. We didn't wheel any counters that I'm a little disappointed with. Usually like to have like 2 in here. This hand here just doesn't do anything. This hand. Because even if they have the discard, I can play around it. Set up their draw. The found footage is pretty solid. And a lot of these cards, like the rate on this is pretty bad, but because you get to basically pay for it for free. Sweeper out of the way. Counter spell. Add the counter. Cards. And tap this down. Ooh. Let's go. Now we just kind of keep chaining these together. Honestly, like, this just shuts down that I can't really attack, but I can just tap it down repeatedly. I think what we do... Tap you down. Turn this to hand. Manifest Dread you. Keep drawing cards and just kind of keep popping off. First seems like the worst. How many cards? 21. We can kill that with like the bear trap in that. Not bad on its own. Got a lot of cards. Probably just trap those away. One of these, keep drawing. Great. We can hold the murder, but what I can do here... Discard this. Get rid of that. They gain 2 life, I don't really care. Now we just kind of go off. And this is where like all our card draw plays really well. So we just want... Breaths in the bottom there. I can keep drawing, but it doesn't really make sense. That's my turn, opponent. We could have gone like deeper in the deck, but I think this presents enough of a clock that I could counter whatever enchantment they have. That's why sometimes holding the counter for their threat works pretty well. That was a pretty good start. Get locked. And that was with the mull as well, I believe. It was. So that was with 2 cards. But the quality of your 2 cards, like if that first hand was our hand, we weren't really going to do much. But just kind of chaining together all our card draw, this hand, really good. Whole bunch of card selection here. You got a saw. Enters, if you cast it, draw 5 cards. But you have no maximum hand size. Whenever you gain life, draw that many cards. Whenever you lose life, discard that many cards. And if you have no cards in hand, you lose. I mean, that is a good one to hit. So they do lose 2 life. So they have to discard 2 cards. So it ends up just being like a loot effect for them. Did we get any crabs in this one? Didn't. Can't mill them. Jolly Balloon Man. That will attack some of their mana. Good, just because it'll gain them 3 life. Draw 3 cards. We didn't have an answer for this anyways. Trample Haste. Won't it let me see the other room? That's the one that like wins them the game. That's so dumb, the interface. Like you can't see. They're just gonna like turn 1 win us. Cards nuts in this format. Just draw 5, draw a whole bunch of cards. I mean, they are at 13, so. Oh, this doesn't force your opponent to draw cards. This just tutoring like the meat locker is really good. Interesting. Creatures get a boost. You got me for 6. Order's pretty reasonable. Do this. Have the counter spell. Discard 2 here. Lock the door here. Here comes back the hand. Just in case we draw more of the grab the prizes. So get rid of Fear of Infinity. And that's gonna force them to discard. Just have to find, I think we have one more grab the prize. Which would be lethal. So they can't actually play a card, otherwise they would lose. However, we are slowly running out of card on our end. Like card advantage. Blocker's good. There we go. Deals 2 damage to any target is good, so we're going to discard this. Don't need that, so should be lethal. Hello! So they can't play a spell. Got him! Fun. Didn't think we'd actually get them on that one. Oh, so they went pretty hard off, but you know, the book gives, the book takes. And doesn't do it. Fine. I mean, we gotta put Anthropede back and then discard this. It's not the best hand. Like with 3, it's fine. With 2, it's pretty rough. So they just get us. Ew, they got me. I can counter. Booble. Discard friend. Manifest Dead. Dread here is fine. Both of those gonna suck. Maybe should have done that. We have ways to bounce creatures to our hand. So let's go with Miasma. Reaper here. Block. This is actually good because if this dies, we can shuffle it into their library. Pretty weak creature. footage is nice. I can dig for card advantage. But like I can also just get rid of this, which seems good. Deal 2 there. Get rid of the fear here. Now this, like, the race is a little bit better there. They're not gaining the life. I don't have to pull this back. Shuffle. So bear trap here. If they double block, I can blow up one of their creatures. I should probably wait to deal the damage in case they had a removal spell, but they haven't shown one yet. I can only do this as a... Both kind of in top deck mode. They have something in hand. Could just be a counter spell, but I feel like I care about this, and I'd rather keep the room or like the 4 damage available for something bigger, because like they're not winning this race right now. Like, yeah, getting rid of the Malavin Chandelier is a much better threat. Keep pinging them. We're winning this race. We're just like one of our many card draw effects. Lock here as well, which is fine. And them putting cards in our library is fine. We want them to. Playing Delirium effects. Thank you for the meat locker. Tap down your blockers later. Winning this race right now. If they hit me for 4, but then they lose their blocker, which is fine. That changes them a bit. Draw. That's 8. They'll win this. Because now they have to keep this back. Okay, Demonic Council. Any card in your deck. What do you find? Hell of a top deck. Hell of a top deck. Last card counterspell into literally probably the safest card. And they had Delirium. You hate to see it. Hate to see it. Okay, well, Addict's gonna deal some damage to... You do... Surveil 2, opponent discards a card, put a creature from the graveyard. So this is pretty easy to trigger with the Eerie effect. Or... Okay, well... Need to do this. Ah! They got us. That's frustrating. Runner. We had lethal, they needed top deck. Top deck got it out of them. I think the line with us getting aggressive there didn't matter because they had the ability to tap down my reach creature. And the problem is with Attic, they had 5 damage anyways because they just unlocked the room. A mulligan. On 1 card? They're going 0 cards. Keep the bodies and just counter whatever they play or kill it. Just because it can block, like it trades up. I'd rather keep my threats. It's basically like a 2-turn clock. Kind of a freebie here. The only way we lose is them going crazy with rooms. We win. Alright. Not the most involved game, but we'll take it after that last one getting cheesed. That takes us to 3 wins. And doesn't do. Okay. This is... Yeah, Anthropede we don't want. Counter, and my hand's pretty dead. Alright, getting rid of Clammy Prowler here is nice. Forces a card out of their hand. That's why I don't love that card. Discard a card, so we're gonna get rid of that. My turn, homie. 6 damage removal on the bank. On their turn. You. Big damage here. Let's draw a card. Unless they have an engine going, we win next turn. There was a line where I used All Creeper to copy the Fanatic to get rid of it, but the 4/4 seems better. Mill into. Life points enough. I'm a copy of another target creature you control. It's already in play, so I don't get the... Let's do this. Can't block, but another body here. 7 damage. Part's pretty underwhelming. Beastie. You're dead. You're dead. Alrighty. That's 5, 4. 4-1. 5 gets us close to break even, 6 gets us ahead. Hey, playing a mythic player. Opponent goes first. I think this hand's fine. 1 card draw engine. This. Again. This kind of gets us if it's a counter spell because it's a 2-for-1. But resolving the attic has more upside. Just because I can play into the other half. Booth's the worst of them. Anthropod's pretty bad. So this first, just in case I draw the fear. think I want to keep the counter available. Like, the only way I lose is if they get a card draw effect. Can't block. Flash threat. Four, 6, 12. Wow, you just need this once you start getting your rooms going. That's taking down a mythic player. We'll take those any day of the week. Two more wins. 2 more wins for 7 wins. I mean, we are so close to being perfect so far. Demonic Tutor off the top did us in. Oh, so good. Debo, another MILF for thought. Guess here they can kind of strip my hand. Get the other Thoughtseize. Elgoth's Onslaught, not that great. Up to no. The other half of this room doesn't matter. It's just get rid of removal and a counter. We're on the play. The hand pops off when it's able to slightly disrupt us. Hopefully they don't have a counter. Three cards. Opponent knows what's up. Chandelier. Chandelier will also help them avoid milling out. Say it's Snake. We're gonna go the ping rooms at me approach. Can't do it yet. I have the ability to tap down one of my things. I can't do tap down on Spectral. And tap down this. Popping the removal to the bottom. I have a feeling they have a counter spell if their hand's this full. They're not playing anything else. Play as though they don't. Show me the counter. Case of us being second here. Second counter. So if I put an instant in the yard. Doesn't even matter. We needed a permanent in play here. Buys us a turn at least. A little less damage. Oh, we manifest strip. I mean, either of those is what we wanted to hit off our flip. Last card removal. Bonus deck's good. So the nice thing is this can trade with the Spectral Snatcher here because of the cracked ball. However, they can tap down. Ooh. I'm playing a basic, so I didn't draft cards. I'm just sticking their card draw. Like, we had the card draw in hand, but they hit us with a double meat blocker. Or, like, they got the counter and the discard. Or sustain card advantage. Or big card advantage. Kill this. Problem is we milled a lot of our card advantage. Like, Glimmer Burst is a start. We have Attic. Nothing really to mill them out. Block there is kind of annoying. Big and deep. But we can see the effectiveness of like Twisted Reality. Fire was removal. 7 card. Hit me for 6. We got 1 card draw. They might have a spell here. Just want to see what we get. There's potential we can survive. Don't have our crabs to mill them. That's not the way. Thoughtseize into counterspell for free on the play. Works really well. If we were on the play, we probably bury them. Or at least establish a much fair result. I think this deck wants... Got a lot of good card draw, but if we could have snuck in 1 or 2. One goes first. Best hand, but first hand. Please have it. Here they get grab the prize. I like misevaluating this card. Like, it's really good on the play, and then terrible. Like, if I go first, I'm likely without cards in hand. Then you just have a dead card. Okay, maybe it is up combat. bad. That being one of their cards in hand is pretty bad. Drop a bunch of creatures. Like, our creatures are better than theirs. So we got that going for us. Trade here. Flying's a little bit of a weak point. Kidding me? Yeah. Split up into past the veil. What a combination. Have the slasher in hand, slow play it. Probably have reanimate here. Not out of it, but good. I lose half my life. Doesn't even block. What a shitty way to go. That's like wild kind of combination of cards to get you. Alright, so we ended up down 100 gems. Not terrible, all things considered. Claim those packs. What do you think of the video?